God multiplies. It's what God does. Did you know that this past spring I had my very first garden? I did. And there are such wonderful things that a garden can teach us if we can be quiet for a moment and observe. My husband, who has been gardening all of his life, loves sunflower seeds and popcorn. So we planted a bunch of sunflowers and a lot of corn. And I remember specifically planting the sunflowers across the yard with a little stick and making little holes about 1 inch deep and putting a sunflower seed in every single hole. And by the end of June, these 5 to 6 feet tall sunflowers were beginning to sprout up out of the ground. Then by the end of August, the sunflowers were 11 feet tall, and their heads were bigger than dinner plates. And they were full of sunflower seeds. And so for each sunflower seed that we put in the ground, up came at least 1,000 more seeds per flower. So from 20 seeds came 20,000. And so, by this very attribute of nature, we can catch a glimpse of this hidden spiritual kingdom in which we dwell. And by seeing the workings of nature, we can understand some of the traits of this magnanimous source of life that resides within the world and exists around us at all times. 1 seed becomes 1,000. So, we can see that God is a multiplier. God is the giver of gifts. God is the one who has become the many, and so God takes one and creates many. It is what God does. God needs nothing from us, and you've probably heard this before, but God is doing everything all of the time, and we don't really need to do anything ourselves. And in fact, life is much easier if we just relax and let God handle things for us. So these gifts that she gives are just what she is, because her nature is the giver of gifts. And this multiplying is happening in every corner of the cosmos, every second of the day. And some astrophysicists estimate that somewhere between 200,000 to 1 million stars are being born per minute across the universe. And that's pretty amazing. So for those of you who are trying to understand the nature of God and this unseen spiritual kingdom in which we live, this is what the pure spirit is like. She is just endless giving. She is wholeness itself, and this wholeness, this pure and perfect consciousness residing at the heart of the cosmos and at the heart of every being, it has a nature, and that nature is simple. It gives. It is, and it gives. And we are her children. We are like little dandelion seeds of her soul floating around in a cosmic wind, which, before you get confused, the cosmic wind is her spirit, and I am speaking in metaphor. So she carries us like these little dandelion seeds to our appointed place and gives us what is good for our soul. She gives us the fertilizer, the sun, the water, and the nutrients. And did you know that some seeds, like hollyhocks or coneflowers, cannot bloom unless they have endured several months of frost? So she gives us the frost as well. And because she is all things and sustains all things, she knows what is best for every soul, and you can trust her to give these gifts to you at the right time, just as every flower has its own appointed time to bloom. She gives us what we are towards the purpose of bringing us into unity and harmony with her spirit. Like a leaf dancing on the wind, we cannot comprehend her pattern nor the path our lives might take, and yet dancing, we come to her. All things move towards this purpose of unity, because the vision of her is the greatest gift that can be given, and this union with her is the divine will. Learning to move with her through the small, mundane yet miraculous moments of our lives is how we give away the ego and become one. As human beings, we are not very good at giving gifts, are we? We struggle with this part of our nature. We always give gifts for specific reasons. Do you remember when we were little and we wanted to give a gift to someone because we just love them very much? And then maybe sometimes we spend a lot of time trying to pick out the right gift because we want to please this person and we know they're very picky. Or maybe there's somebody at school who we actually don't like that much, and so maybe we try a little bit less to give them a nice gift because they're not really our favorite person. And this is how people are. It's how children are, but it's also how adults are too. We don't grow all that much over the course of one life. And as we get older, we learn to give gifts in an adult way, which usually means we give for an ulterior motive. We're either giving gifts to keep the peace, because it would be rude to forget someone's birthday or to skimp on Christmas. Or we give gifts as an apology. We hurt someone, or we fell out of their good graces, and to make it up to them, we buy them something nice, or we bring them a coffee at work. Or we give gifts to win favor, because we're doing business with a new client or a new customer, and we really want to win their business so that they can give us money. And so we are giving them gifts with the idea of reciprocity in mind, that we want to strike up a business deal, and this is the language of business. So it's not necessarily manipulation, but there is an aspect of manipulation to it, because you're trying to win favor for an ulterior motive, not just out of love and the desire to give. So we are very imperfect in the body, and this is one of the ways we can tell how far we fall from her perfect love. Because this great spirit of life gives gifts for the sake of giving. She needs nothing from anyone, and there is no one for her to curry favor with. She loves all equally, and we all belong to her. So her gifts are genuine, magnanimous, endless, and without condition. They are unconditional gifts. And they're given for no reason, except maybe that we might allow her to multiply those gifts through us. And this we can see when a musician becomes a teacher and gives the gift of music to 20, 30, 40 children per class per semester. Here is another example of God multiplying her gifts. So when Christ says we should strive to be perfect as our Father is in heaven, this is a small window into what he means. We should give gifts for the sake of giving, because giving itself is a joy. And we should accept gifts only when they are given freely, in the spirit of joy. And in fact, the material aspect of the gift isn't important, and it isn't even truly real. In this secret, hidden, spiritual kingdom, what we are giving is joy. And that is the same as giving life. And if we can let that joy of giving penetrate the heart and reside within us, then we take that joy into 100,000 lifetimes to come. And it becomes what we are. When I wrote my first 2 sermons and posted them on this podcast, even though they were only about 10 minutes each, I felt exhausted. This work takes all of my soul to do, and as I walked through my house, I felt this spirit of life sort of move in my heart. And she told me, sit down, meditate, be in me. I have words for you. As I sat down and went inward to be in that oasis of peace in the heart, I felt her say, thank you for the gifts. And with profound understanding, I saw what I was doing through her eyes. I was not teaching, and I was not working. I was giving. I was giving gifts. And she showed me how even 3 words said in truth shall grow and multiply 100,000 times over. because she is truth itself. I understood these teachings were not for me, but they were for her, gifts given to her in sincere gratitude for this salvation. And what I give to her, she will carry like seeds on the wind to fertile soil, to set down roots and multiply. No single act of kindness is ever wasted. Every word said with sincerity and love makes life grow. The work that we do as pastors or spiritual mentors or students of faith, the work that we do is actually not work at all. It is the giving of life. Through us, she multiplies. So although we might say that Christ is a giver of gifts, or Sri Ram Krishna is the giver of gifts, really, it is this universal mother, this beautiful tree of life, who is the giver of all gifts. For the tree of life grows on and on. It has no end and no beginning. No one can fathom its size, and yet it grows and grows and grows into infinity. And as it grows, it gives. And just like a single sunflower seed placed in the ground turns into 1,000 more, so every liberated soul is a seed planted upon the earth to awaken 100,000 more. From one comes many. And this is what Mother is doing. This is her play. She is growing a garden made of souls. And every seed that takes root gives way to more life, greater life, deeper life in this beautiful tree of life that goes on and on and on. So there is this idea in Vedanta cosmology that Mother Kali, at the end of one cycle of creation, collects all of the seeds for her next cycle of creation. And she is doing this now. Every liberated soul is a seed placed in her pouch that she has collected. She brings us back to herself, and she keeps us inside of her heart, preparing for the next creation. And she will not stop until every seed is gathered. So don't worry. Your time will come. That is Mother's promise. It is her gift, and she is the giver of gifts. It is what she does, it is her will, and it is her way. She will give the gift freely when it is the time to give, and our only job is to faithfully follow her ways and allow her to bestow the gift upon us. So in the same light, strive to see everything in your life as given to you by this great giver of gifts. And this can sound very Pollyanna, and I know there are many bitter people out there who have failed to take this stance with life. But you must see the gift within the trials that life has dealt you. Strive to see the gift in your story, in each experience. Remember, not only is there a gift within every trial of your life, but that you, too, are a flower blooming in this garden. You carry the seed of eternity within you. You have a place in the tree of life because you are here today with me. So believe in yourself, because I do. And remember, this incredible mother is always with us. And if it feels like we cannot make sense of our lives, just speak out and say, "Mother, show me the gift." Then her understanding will come.